all for joining KSU's Franchise Management Speaker Series, Management 4124. Guest speaker series includes CEOs, private equity firms, leaders, bankers, entrepreneurs, and advisors. We are in a classroom on the KSU campus where the cameras only face front and in the top of the ceiling due to student privacy requirements. So it may seem that I'm looking down it all by myself, but I have a wonderful class here with me. My name is Jordan Krolick, professor of franchise management. My non-professor life is as an independent equity sponsor, acquiring businesses, a consultant, and senior leader with companies such as McDonald's, Arby's, Home Depot, and more. And today we have a great story. We are extremely excited to have Brianna Keefe. Brianna is the founder and CEO of Washington D.C. based gourmet toast and juice bar, Toastique. She has an extensive background in hospitality and catering, earned a hospitality degree from James Madison University with a minor in business. She brings the same passion and drive that led her to be a successful college student athlete to everything she does with Toastique. Just 2 years after college, she decided to take control of her own destiny and follow her dream of opening her own health cafe in 2018. Today, she is a passionate and driven leader responsible for setting the tone and culture of the brand and overseeing all training, development, and growth of new locations. Toastique currently has 23 locations open and is expecting to double in size by the end of this year. It's going to be a crazy year for you, and has over 100 locations in development. Thank you for joining us, Brianna.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
No, we are thrilled because your story will really resonate with the people here. And I think you could start with that, just a couple minutes beyond what I kind of described. And then I'm going to hand it over to various class members. The class has both presented, given me questions in advance, as well as they'll just raise their hand and have questions during the time. And you'll hear a lot more from them from me because they're more interesting. So why don't you just spend a second and give us a little bit more about your background and how this came to be?
Yeah. So really just healthy living, very active lifestyle has always been the way since I was younger. And I think really kind of developing that over time. In high school, I would make smoothies all the time, juice. I'd make open-faced sandwiches, but with like English muffins. That's what my parents always had in their house. And I just really enjoyed fresh and beautiful food. I don't have any professional culinary experience, so it's really all simple and beautiful and really easy to enjoy. So I did that in high school, and then in college, I actually started as a nutrition major. I was going to be a dietitian, and I wasn't really getting chemistry. Chemistry was not for me, and it's actually my guidance counselor that was like, maybe you should keep that as a hobby and do something else. So that's why I changed my major to hospitality management, got a minor in business, and it all kind of made sense. I've always worked in restaurants, always worked in, even when I was 18, working at an event center in my hometown, in high school, and restaurants. And I just loved being around people, and not a desk 9-to-5 job was never for me. And just making those small networks and just connecting with people on a small level is what I really love. And then in college too, I kind of expanded what I was making, and I was always on the go. As you mentioned, I was a student athlete. I cheered in college. So between practices and games, and we had mandatory lifting and all of the above, very, very busy. So I was juice, smoothies, overnight oats, everything just fast and easy that I could take with me. And then, so Toastique really is just a combination of it all. The first store was solely to create myself a job. That was the vision. I was 24 at the time, and I wanted to go somewhere where I was happy, that I knew I was passionate about, combining all the things that I love. And then really from there, just took off in so many ways that I couldn't even imagine or dream of. And yeah, just haven't looked back since.
That's awesome. And so Jacob, there you go, Jacob. Jacob, why don't you kick us off with the first question?
Oh, yes. My name is Jacob. I'm a senior, and I am a business management major. My question was, when you first started Toastique, what initial ideas did you have to make yourself different from other cafes?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my first initial idea was actually a breakfast food truck, because I moved to DC after college, and I love breakfast. Breakfast has always been my favorite meal. And working downtown, I realized that there wasn't any breakfast places and specifically not food trucks. I'm like, oh, this could be really great. So that's initially how I thought it was gonna be different, by doing a breakfast food truck, and then really looking into it and like not being able to save a spot. And I always wanted to do toast as well, where people didn't think they put a focus on, but it was really my dad who was like, why don't you do brick and mortar? That way people can find you every day. Like they know exactly where you are. So with that, I'm very happy that we chose that route as well, because toast is definitely the thing that makes us most unique, is because, how we're doing toast, no one truly, I promise I'm not being biased, but no one does toast like we do. We make it a full meal. It's, really fills you up like a normal sandwich, just without being overstuffed and using all fresh ingredients. But in addition to that, just the environment and the atmosphere that we create, we spend a little bit more on our finishes. We have all live plants, and it really creates a welcoming environment where people do want to come eat. We do have the clientele that's in and out, quick coffee, juice, whatever, they're on their way, but there's a lot of people that enjoy hanging out, bringing their laptop, meeting friends, office meetings, like whatever it may be. And I think really being able to create that environment still in a quick serve atmosphere where people don't have to sacrifice 2 hours of their time to sit down and have a meal. I think that also really makes us unique in this industry.
That makes a lot of sense. Anna?
Hi, my name is Anna Roth, and I'm a senior majoring in management. My question was, is there a character trait that you can attribute your success to, or is there something that you worked on that was fundamental in business planning, I guess?
I think, if I had to maybe pick like two things, is really truly be passionate about what you're doing, whether you're starting something on your own, you're franchising. At the end of the day, you're owning your own business. And it might sound cliche, but you really truly have to be passionate about it, because no matter what you do, it's a lot of work. Nothing comes easy. You have to earn your success. And if you're not truly passionate about it, you're going to get burnout or get bored and want to move on to the next thing. And, to be a sustainable brand, you really have to believe in it, believe in the product. And, so even when we're franchising and looking at prospects, it's like, are you going to live the Toastique lifestyle? Like, do you understand what we're doing? Do you get, like, can you get behind it? Do you see our vision? Like, really being part of it, because I know Toastique is sustainable for many years to come with those right people. And I think that kind of goes along with all businesses, all entrepreneurship, really just loving what you do, because the hard work doesn't feel as hard when you're excited about it and it's rewarding. And I think the second thing, I think that's the biggest thing. And the second part is really just having the grit. And that kind of goes along with the first part, but being fully committed and having the grit to make through the tough times, because, there's always going to be the better side once you get through it. So just knowing that it's going to be a lot of work, but it'll be rewarding in the outcome.
So my class is essentially seniors.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you would have taken it, but the class is essentially seniors. And most of them are graduating now, some are graduating in December. Let's go back to your graduation. So you graduate. Get us from there to the first store being open.
Yes.
Walk us through that, because some of the folks know exactly what they're going to do, and some of them are more like me. I'm still trying to figure what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and that's fair. I feel like I was like lost for a very long time. And not necessarily super lost from like hospitality, but then hospitality is so broad. You can essentially do whatever you want and call it hospitality. So I kind of took a path of least resistance and went to all the career fairs, and there's a big hotel corporation there. And I was like, what, that sounds great, because it has like a little training program for 6 months. You're working at every single department of the hotel. So I'm like, that's perfect. I'll kind of figure out like what I really like. I knew I liked events too. So I ended up, after kind of the training, I feel like that's where I really flourished, and people saw that. So I became assistant banquet manager there. But again, couldn't really see the vision of, I enjoyed it. We did some awesome events in DC. We had off-premise catering events, so we did really big events, which was so fun. But, I didn't see myself being a GM of a hotel, and, I wasn't as fulfilled that much. I was on a college grad salary and working up to like 70, 80 hours a week. And it was just, that's really what pushed me to do something on my own. And so I think it's good to try, like, even if you're not super excited something out first, you can find out also what you don't like. And then hopefully what you do like. And really, I think kind of testing it all out, I've learned a lot from it. I'm very grateful for it, but I also, and hopefully some mentality of the students is the same, but, at one point I was like, I have nothing to lose. I don't have kids at this point. Like, I don't have anyone to feed. I don't have pets. Like, if all else fails, I can go get a serving job. I can like go do what I did and figure out the next chapter of my life. And for me, it was really the burnout of my previous job and just believing in myself of how much hard work I have, and the work ethic to do what I want to do. And I think that's very important. And I feel like a lot of people are a little lost for a while, and like that is totally normal. So it's just, keep trying.
I'm
And
still lost.
yeah, it's like I feel like I'm found here at Toastique, like this is my happy place, but who knows? I think it took me a little shorter than other people to get where I am today, but the biggest thing too, I think the biggest challenge I should say, typically with young entrepreneurs, if that's the route that they want to take, is the capital to start up what you want to start up. And the biggest piece of advice I can say is cut costs at every corner that you can. I know after graduating, people, they get like a professional job, then they want to buy a car, or they want to buy a house, like they want to spend all their money right away. I had my car from high school up until, I don't know, like at least 5 or 6 years, like deep into when Toastique started. I didn't have any payments on there. I lived in a 2-bedroom with 3 people, and a dog to cut all of our costs. And I think that's just, that kind of goes back to the grit, is save as much as you can. And on, use it on yourself versus kind of materialistic things that you can get later on in life if that's what you really want. Because I feel like, especially as like a recent grad, you feel cool when you get a new job. Like I felt cool, you're in the real world, but really kind of cutting costs where you can so that you can save up to do something for yourself that will help you in the long run.
And so you save up a little bit of money, and then you said, I'm gonna start this. Did you know about leasing a property? Did you know about the menu that you were gonna develop? Walk us through. So now I have a little bit of capital. I'm gonna put it into the business. I know I'm gonna do my own thing. What's next?
Yeah, really it was, so I said like the burnout was really what gave me a push. I had an initial menu, like, okay, we want a spot. And it was always just kind of like a thought in my mind. I've always wanted to own like a healthy cafe. But that was pretty much it. And the one day I was walking around in DC, if you guys are familiar, there's a newer, now, it's newer waterfront area in Southwest DC called the Wharf. And my partner and I actually are walking down there because he's into real estate. He's like, maybe we can buy property here. And they pretty much just laughed us away. They're like, oh, these were pre-sold for like 2 years. But while we were walking down there, it's right on the water. It's brand new. And I was like, it wasn't even called Toastique at the time. It was just my idea, my dream. But I'm like, this would be perfect because it's right, it's new, it's modern. I'm a beach girl at heart. I love the water. I'm like, just something fresh and the juice and the toast. This would be great. So reached out to the landlord who had his information on window film, and went back and forth. I was like, I'm not gonna bore you with the whole story, but basically there's one spot left, 1,000 square feet, that you couldn't put any venting or anything in it for a real restaurant. And I was like, let me come see the space. And he basically said, show me your business plan or something before I waste my time. and I didn't have one. So in 24 hours, I wrote a 27-page business plan, fluffed it up a little bit. Fake it till you make it is truly how the first store came about. And just figuring it out. The questions you asked, no, I didn't know anything about renting, commercial or leasing commercial space. Our lease is 150 pages long versus, like a residential one that might be like 2. And so it's kind of combination of that. And, I saved up money. My partner, my brother, and then my partner's best friend is all owners of Toastique. And so we're very fortunate that we never had to take outside capital. It's all ours. We took loans, open credit cards, which my dad also told me not to do, but I was like, I have no other way of getting more money. So, got all that together, and basically just hit the ground running. My partner and his best friend's background is in construction, so they helped with the connections with that. And my partner's best friend's mom was actually a chef in Philly. And at the 11th hour, we're like, you need to come up here and help us fine tune this menu. And she really did. She put the chef's kiss on every single item, essentially what it is today. And it's really like we do seasonal things, we do toast of the month, we do change it up a little bit, but our solid core menu is pretty much what it was when it first opened. And she is to thank for that, for sure.
That's awesome. Let me hand it over to Amir.
Yeah, so hey, I'm Amir, and my question was, what is like one specific approach that you took when you first started? And like whether it's innovation or like continuing your education, or and what is like one approach that you're taking now personally or within the business that has helped you succeed?
Yeah, I would say honestly, in the beginning, it was kind of the figure it out, and that was my goal and my vision to create myself a job. And then after that, realizing when we were onto something, I had to learn more about franchising and growing a business. And I'm a very, very, very hands-on person because this is my baby, and so it's very hard for me to go from store 1 to store 2. And, even though my team was very capable of doing everything without me, that was a very hard learning lesson for me. So really, I wouldn't say I took any more classes, but, really networking for people who have franchising specifically, because that was completely new. So really leaning on our attorneys, but then we also are working with a FSO, which is a franchise sales organization, so leaning on their advice and just connecting even locally in DC with other businesses. And I think that's the best thing that you can do, and really learning from any little mishaps or mistakes or anything and applying them to the future. That's something that our team does very well. We are a very young team, so a lot of the times people are like, you know what you're doing, and we're like, you know what? At this point, I think we do, but in the beginning, we're like, we're doing the best, and every lesson learned, anything like, oh, that should be in the operation manual. Oh, that could be more detailed in the recipe book. Like any little small detail, we apply it to like essentially the very next day after any opening, and learning from it so that we can better ourselves and better the company every step of the way.
Simeon, you're next.
Hi. Hey, my name is Simeon. I was curious if there was like a person or idea, or like what was the major factor that like pushed you into deciding to do franchising?
Yeah, so everything, if you guys have kind of looked at Toastique or after looking at website, everything we do is very much in the details. And so when we're like, okay, we want to grow, we can grow, how do we want to do it? We ultimately decided up on the franchising route because to me, someone that has their own time and money and energy and reputation involved in owning their own store, in theory, should care more than a manager we just send across the country and hope that they, live up to our standards. So that's ultimately how we decided on franchising. And I think really what we're trying to do is kind of redirect people in the way they think about franchising. You know, I feel like people think of McDonald's and Subways and just very large corporations that lack the quality and service and really like localization as well. So as we grow through franchising, like we're being very, very particular with the people that we partner with because we want them, we are looking for owner operators, people that want to be the face of the store, that want to be in there making the connections with people, going out to local businesses, residential offices, fitness studios, like being that face, making those connections, because that's really what's driving Toastique success in new markets where there isn't that much, or there might not be any brand recognition yet. It is so important to have those grassroots marketing and boots on the ground. And so, you know, I think most people think they're like, oh, franchising, you're just gonna open a bunch and everything's gonna go downhill. Or that's what I think will happen if we do that. So, you know, going that route, people who want to be owner operators and really believe in the brand, be in the brand, that's ultimately how we chose that route. But I will say that we are also still opening one corporate store a year in DC. We have 5 here. And we plan on just kind of growing like a little bubble, a little jellyfish, slowly but surely going outwards. I love being in the stores. That's not where my time is most valued these days, but you know, that is what I truly love. And I never want us to, you know, get stale or not think of new things and just kind of let franchising take its own route. So by opening more corporate stores, we have, you know, new test kitchen. Our newest store actually has an alcohol license, so we get to test with that. And it always gives our staff and our people opportunity to grow as well. If people are just capped out at a manager, store manager, they're going to leave to go somewhere else. So now people have the opportunity to become a corporate trainer and help with training franchisees or moving to the catering side or operations. So there's a lot more opportunity to grow within through our corporate stores as well. But outside the DC area, we're going through franchising.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So, so if you're sitting here and you say, I'm going to go franchise, walk us through the steps between you say, franchising sounds kind of interesting. I don't know if you've been involved with franchising before, but so you're thinking, hey, I think I want to franchise, and to the point where you get the first franchisee to come on board.
So we are very fortunate to work with Braintree, who's our FSO, and I always say they kind of do like the dirty work. They're the ones that, you know, they're a small but mighty team. They have someone in every department, so they're the ones to create all of our marketing material, manage all our Google ads. They're vetting all of our applicants that come in, which is huge because that is not what I'm passionate about, nor do I have the time to go through that. So once someone says they're interested, whether, you know, there's so many different ways. We have a broker network outreach. So there's people that work with brokers that are looking for franchising, which is that's the way they found Toastique, or they'll go into one of our stores, or they'll be searching like breakfast franchise on Google and it pops up. So there's many ways to kind of find Toastique. But we always try to lead them to our Toastique franchising website. And on there, they submit a form. And then Braintree has around like 4 to 6 calls with them minimum, just to kind of vet them on their end, making sure they're a good fit for us, like financially, characteristically, you know, all the back end stuff before they come to me. And then, so after that, once they go through their approval, I'll have a call with them, call the founders call, just really have them, you know, get to know them a little bit more. We also take a assessment. We have them take an assessment. It's only like 5% personality. The rest is kind of like work style, very interesting, and see how they kind of mesh in our franchise system. And then after that, if I like them, then we invite them to DC. So, and then we spend a full day here and going through all the stores, meeting the rest of the team, the back end, seeing the operation. And then after that, it's a mutual agreement, you know, and I always say I don't really have a sales pitch because I know why Toastique is great, but it's a lot of work. So like when they come to DC, I almost try to scare them away a little bit. And if they're still excited after that, I'm like, they're gonna be great. So you know, as long as they're still excited after I like to see how, you know, their reactions, their questions they're asked, everything like that in person. And then after that, they sign the FDD. And then from FDD to opening their store is roughly on average like 12 months. So it's a pretty long process, I would say, until the doors actually open of one of their stores.
And think of what you're doing now versus what you're doing at JMU. And there's a lot of expansion in the knowledge skills that
Yes.
of all the many things you're doing today. Bryson?
Hey, I'm Bryson. I'm also a management senior. Since you have all these franchisees, what are some of the quality controls that you've put into place with them?
Yeah, it's honestly from our first franchise that opened in March of 22 until now, it is almost like night and day of our resources, because so many things you're like, they're not gonna do that, and then they do. And so like our operations manual grew from like 50 pages, it's like 200 pages now. So, you know, I think going back to like learning everything, like I'm always like, what could I do better? How could I been more clear? So, I mean, that we have in place now, and it's the past, you know, 6, 7 openings that all of them have been in there is very smooth. And I think the biggest thing is just really understanding, like you're buying into a franchise because of its proven success, and just really having people understand, trust the process, follow the process. Like we're not perfect, but we really do strive for perfection. And we've done it 23 times. So like that's why you're buying into a franchise, is to kind of hopefully skip over some mistakes that we already learned. And I think, you know, just staying on top of that, like I said, I'm a very hands-on person. So everyone on our support staff here in our office is also very hands-on, very passionate. And that's just so important. So there is lots and lots of support up to the opening, but then even after the opening, we have weekly calls for a minimum of 90 days before it even gets bumped back to bi-weekly calls, just really ensuring that the franchisees understand completely every part of the process and know they have a weekly call in the books that they can address anything for however minor it may be, to make sure that they are set up for success from day one.
Yeah, I will tell you, this sounds very similar to many things that we were doing at Tropical Smoothie. And they've done pretty well. So I look forward to seeing that with you. Emilis?
Yeah, Brianna, my name is Emilis. I'm a senior majoring in entrepreneurship. And my question is, what are the typical difficulties that your franchisees encounter in their day-to-day operations?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think honestly, the biggest thing that we're trying to set the expectation is the amount of work. Like at the end of the day, you're running your own business and you have to be present for it. And you know, the restaurant industry, staffing's always hard. It will always be hard. But creating a good culture from day one to get people excited about their job and come back. But that's kind of why we're trying to like scare some people away, because they're like, oh, it's a little cute juice bar, like this can be easy. And because we have the toast side of it, everything's made in-house. So even though we're not cooking, everything is simple, everything can be taught. You don't need any professional kitchen experience, but we're making everything in-house. So it's a lot to stay up on, a lot of prep. It's very high volume because of the toast as well. You know, we're doing volume of a regular cafe that has a full kitchen just without the cooking. So, you know, it is a lot of work, and your team is the most important part. And that's always what we say too, is we're giving you everything else, but the only thing we can't do is manage your team. You know, managing people, different personalities, really playing on people's strengths. And, you know, we say hire fast and fire faster. You know, if they're not working out, if they're causing tension in the workplace, if they're, you know, not the person that you want on your team, you have to be okay with letting them go as well, just for your store's success.
Taylor?
Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm a senior majoring in international business. I have two questions. What was the hardest skill to not only learn but also teach your team while expanding? And did you find that some states were harder to train than others?
That's a good question. You're talking about like our support staff? I think the biggest thing is because franchising is new for everyone, including our support staff. We do have a CMO that has franchising experience, but you know, everyone is different. It's kind of like managing a store. Everyone's different. Everyone has different backgrounds, skill sets, and really just playing into who they are and staying on top of them. You know, it's very easy to be like, oh, well, they didn't answer to my email, so whatever. But it's like, no, like their success is our success. And you have to follow up. You have to follow up. Even if you seem to be annoying, we need to make sure that we're doing our job of holding them accountable, holding ourselves accountable, which in turn holds them accountable, whether it's sending in their P&L or approving the schedule or making sure their wages are correct online so we can see the accurate sales versus labor, which is crucial in a restaurant. You know, it's a little, you know, you have to be a little pushy on some with some franchisees, but it's okay because we know we're helping them. And they always say like, they don't know what they don't know. You know, if you push, say this is important, and then they see why, they're like, okay, this makes sense, and I will do that moving forward. So I think that's just been a little bit of a challenging is just making sure, really the accountability of it is making sure that they're following every step of the way.
Julia?
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm a hospitality management major. And my question for you is, what is it about your business that sets you apart from other businesses? And how would you pitch these differences to help your business stand out to stakeholders?
So we don't have any shareholders, which is nice. But I think the biggest thing is really believing in our brand and ourselves. And, you know, the juice smoothie acai bowl concept is proven. You know, that, and honestly, I feel like it's a little bit saturated, like juice bars are everywhere. So even in that aspect, just making it very quality juice smoothies and bowls. We don't add any extra sugars or sweeteners or syrups or anything into our smoothies, our menu, and our juices, everything. Our menu is very much what you see is what you get. And also by cold pressing juice, it's a higher quality juice. It's a little more tedious. The machine's more expensive, but you're producing a higher quality juice. So even in that aspect, focusing on the quality. But really the biggest thing is our toast. Depending on the location, it makes up between 40 to 60% of our sales. So it really is the strongest hunk of our sales. And just having that wow factor, you know, having something that tastes just as good as it looks is so important. You know, we focus on the presentation, the colors, the way everything is laid out on the bowls, exactly how many bananas to put. It's the details that people really appreciate. And then when they take a bite into it, they can taste the difference that it is made in-house, down to our peanut butter is made in-house, and just peanuts, no extra oils or anything, just high quality food. I think that's really what sets us apart. And especially we have like I don't want to say every breakfast item, but like a healthy breakfast option all under one roof. You know, there's tons of juice bars, tons of coffee shops, there's cafes, but doing it all together where you can come with a group of people, and if someone just wants a cappuccino, that's fine. If they just want a juice, if someone actually wants substantial food to eat, they can also get that as well. So it kind of makes it like a one-stop shop for anyone.
No, that's perfect. JQ?
Hey, I'm JQ. I'm a marketing major. Knowing what you know now, what would you do differently when it came to your career path?
I don't know if I would do anything differently, honestly. Like Toastique is truly what I'm most passionate about. And there's so many people that are like, oh, you can sell it and do something good because you're good at building a brand and a team. And I'm just like, I don't even know like what I would do that would get me more excited than what I'm doing now. Truly, like you know, knowing what I know now, I think franchising could have started off a little bit differently. You know, like our first few openings are great and I love the owners, but it's like now I can kind of match those like slight small characteristics I don't think work so great. Like maybe I wouldn't have let them franchise in the beginning, but I didn't know better. So I think on that route that would be a little different, but from the career path of growing Toastique the way we have and the way we are, I truly don't think I would change it in any way.
Well, but I'm gonna dive in a little bit deeper. I'm gonna have Shahil, why don't you ask your question? And again, everything's going great, it's a good answer, but I'm gonna have him dive a little bit deeper.
Okay.
I'm Shahil. I'm currently a senior, majoring in information systems. My question is, what was your biggest setback and what did you learn from it? And how did you prevent it from happening again?
Yeah, I think something just like so small. Well, you know, it wasn't small, but it ended up working out in our favor. Is our first lease we signed. I signed, like I said, over 100-page lease. Quit my job. I thought everything was like set in stone, and there's a 60-day period where we actually didn't realize that they had to return the signed lease, even though they created it. And there was investors in Canada who didn't agree with the landlord in DC. They're like, why are you taking a risk on someone that has never owned a business, this new concept? And so there were 60 days that we, you know, I actually went back and got a serving job because I was like, I do not have an income. This might not happen, and I'm not really sure what to do. And so I think luckily it all worked out, and because we kept going with good faith, we were like 50 grand in, started the drawings and signage, and it actually ended up helping us because it expedited it. But I think you know, paying a little bit more attention to that, and I guess that was just being young and unexperienced, that could be that could be a scenario. I think is honestly one of the biggest things that kind of was like, okay, every time there's anything legal involved, you need to like triple check that it's correct, have attorneys review it, and we are good to go before moving forward.
That's exactly right. And guys, that's 1,000 square feet. I mean, that's about the size of this room. And
yeah,
the amount of detail and analysis that these groups want to get involved catches you by surprise. And you don't know. You know, you're walking down the path you haven't walked down that before. Israel, why don't you share? Why don't you take us from there?
My name is Israel. I'm also a senior studying management. My question to you is, I was on your website, you mentioned how y'all didn't wasted much money on marketing. So I'm kind of curious, how did you market your business and succeeded without wasting money?
Yeah, so marketing was definitely a newer avenue that we also had to figure out when we started franchising, because we actually didn't spend a dime on marketing our first 2 years in business, and we just didn't have to. Where we were in DC, there was so much foot traffic. Honestly, it didn't even cross my mind because we were on such a tight budget. And again, it's like just to oblivion, I guess, is me, but I'm like, people are gonna love it. Like marketing wasn't even part of the initial budget, and we were fortunate enough that we didn't have to. And especially being in the development where we are for our first location, it's like a development, a neighborhood. So they even had their own marketing team being like, hey, let us know if you have any specials. They were driving traffic to the area, which just ultimately helped our store. As we grow into new markets, we realize, especially where there's not as much foot traffic and there's driving traffic, you need to spend more on marketing. You need to let people know you're there. And that's the hardest thing. It's just, we just need to get them in the door once, and we're very confident in our ambiance, the product, that they will be a regular. So we've tried a lot of things over the past few years and the openings, and the biggest thing, kind of what we're doing now, is a huge grand opening promotion that has worked the best out of all of them. Is by first 100 people get a $50 rewards dollars onto their Toastique account. So they have to have an account, which is great for us because we can capture their data. They have to buy something on the first day, so we're cash flow positive, and then they get $50 that they can spend. And it creates such a buzz, and $100 people is very retainable, so people are like, I can be part of that 100. And then furthermore, just creating those relationships and partnerships. We do have a PR firm that is an option right now for franchise owners if they want to do that, but we always do marketing, social media ads. Our product is very aesthetically pleasing, so social media works very well for us. And really just the continued partnerships, what I was saying, and even what we're doing now within our first year until 2025. Any catering orders that come in, we are treating as marketing as well, because catering is, what I did before this, and it's so important. And I guess everything in Toastique is all about the details, but especially events and catering where you're bringing your product to people who may not have ever had it. It needs to be on time, it needs to be beautiful, delicious, giving them menus, coupons with it, and that drives them right back through the door. And we've seen the return on that 10 times over, especially, when people, they might be like, oh, that's trendy toast, but then they try it and they're like, oh, I actually do want a full-size toast. I'm going to go get that for lunch now because I had a piece of it for breakfast. So, we take each market differently, if it's more driving traffic, more rural, more foot traffic, whatever it may be. But we have a great marketing team that kind of keeps that in place after opening as well.
And Riley gave me two questions. Well, let's focus on the first one.
Hey, my name is Riley. I'm an entrepreneurship senior here at Kennesaw. And I just wanted to ask, where do you see Toastique in the next 5 years?
Yeah, so we just had our 5-year anniversary in July, and it's crazy what we've done in those 5 years. So it's really hard to even fathom what we're going to do in the next 5 years. But truly, I think and hope that we can get to 100 units. That should be easy for us. There's actually, I believe the statistic is that only 5% of franchise companies get to 100 locations. So that is something that we're really striving for, and really just partnering with the right people. I know I kind of said that before, but that is like the core of our business, and having those right people that want to be an extension of the brand, that want to open multiple in their community is so important. So really, we're just focusing on really great partners and really great locations too. We want like a new development or neighborhood or whatever, and people will be like, oh, there must be a Toastique in there because it's great, not shoved in a little shopping center on a side road or something. So really just focusing on that, and really turning an ultimate like brand goal, which is really one of our goals for 2024. Our social media is very aesthetically pleasing, but we really want to turn more into a lifestyle brand, and have brand ambassadors and really have a lifestyle of, or like demonstrate a Toastique lifestyle, so to say. It's just living that healthy, active lifestyle that people are automatically connecting our products with them and with themselves, and they want to be part of that. And I think that's going to be huge for the push in our growth in the next few years.
So what I'd love to end today with, and I can't thank you enough for your time. It's a gift to us, and it's a gift to the students here. You've just got such a remarkable story. What would be some final thoughts that, if again, you've heard from many of the students here, they're all essentially seniors, all figuring it out. What advice would you give to them here?
Yeah, the biggest things I would say, two of which that I mentioned before, is really doing something you're passionate about. Even if you don't know 100% right now, that's okay. But I hope that you learn your passions, you figure out what they are. Definitely cut costs, especially as recent grads. I feel like that's just such a common thing that people spend all their money. It's just huge. Like, it doesn't matter what car you drive, I promise you. And also, don't ever feel secured by a salary. Even if you're trying to leave to do something on your own and they try to give you a promotion or give you a raise, like if you're confident and believe in yourself and know that you are truly passionate about what you want to do, that will pay off in the long run. And I also feel like you guys do it now. Whatever you want to do, it's gonna get harder as you get older. You're gonna get a better salary. You might get married and have kids, and then you're gonna be thinking about them when you're taking a risk. And I feel like now is the time to do it. You're young. Most of you probably don't have too much to lose, and I say in the nicest way because that's what I say about myself, you know. And before you get too comfortable at a salaried job, you know, really just finding your true passion and do it.
I love that. That is, I truly do. But more importantly, I can't thank you enough again for your time here. You've been outstanding, and you know, it's really been a gift. So have a great evening, and thank you again from all of us.
Well, thank you so much. It was great connecting, and I do really love talking to grads and people in college because that was me. And you know, I think there's a lot of exciting stuff ahead in this world, and I feel like all the generations to come are going to be disruptors, which I'm excited to see.
Absolutely. Well, have a great evening, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Be well. Bye-bye.
Bye.